Hey everybody, this is going to be part 2 of my part 3 series I'm doing right now. Part 1 was how to ski switch, and I definitely recommend watching that before you watch this one. So head over to my website, skitutorials.com, and check that out. It'll definitely be helpful to watch that before this one. I will touch on how to ski switch correctly in this, but it's definitely a little bit more helpful to watch that one first. In part 2, I'm going to go ahead and explain how to hit jump switch. So it's definitely going to be a little bit repetitive after the first one, but just bear with me on this because a lot of it is the same. But I thought if I separate it into 3 videos, it might be a little bit better. Part 3 is going to be how to do a switch 360, so that comes out next Friday. Keep an eye out for that. The reason I'm doing a switch 180 is just because I think it's a little bit easier to learn how to do a switch 180 rather than to do a zero spin. I feel like most people would rather do a switch 180. So technically you are spinning switch off the jump, but it might not necessarily feel like a 180 since you're already looking that way. Only half your body is going to have to do the rotation.
Alright, so when you're coming in the jump switch with your feet staggered like this, like I talked about before, you're going to come in, and right as you start coming up, you're going to start to open your legs a little bit, and you're going to pop real hard. Make sure, it's really important, when you're coming up, your body's completely twisted back, and you're seeing as much as you can. You don't want to be like this, because then you only see a little bit out of your left eye, but once you're all the way twisted back, you have so much more eyesight of everything that's going on, so it's almost like you're skiing straight, and like you just get used to it mad quick. So you're coming in, as you come up, you're going to pop real hard, and you're going to open your whole body to the landing, and do the switch 1. That's all you need to do is just open your body to the landing, and then when you pop, you're going to come right into that slope. So
now in a theoretical world, I should be able to do this the exact way I'm explaining it, but we all know that that is not reality. So when I go off the jump in this clip coming up, I don't pop 100%, and so my body does not extend fully, then causing me to not be as smooth as I could be in the air. Now, if I would have popped up a little bit more, that would have fully extended my body and would not have caused me to pull my knees up a little bit. Now, it was still a successful switch 180, and I was still fine doing it, but it's those little things that can make a big difference. One more really important thing is in the air, you need to have your arms out like a T and your shoulders up and your body extended. This is going to help you tremendously while starting to do bigger tricks. So if you can nail this on the Switch 180, you'll be much better off when you start to work up to some of the bigger tricks. Okay, so if there's one primary thing you guys need to take away from this video, it's that when you're taking off a jump switch, you really need to be bending your knees a lot and popping as hard as you can. It's hard to exaggerate only doing a switch 180, but when you get into bigger spins, switch 5, switch cork 5, switch 7s, whatever it is, especially switch 10s, you really need to be bending your knees as hard as you can and jumping really heavy.
So when you're coming in, just any jump, any rail, ski staggered, and as you come up the jump, you're going to stay open and jump real hard like that. So I'm going to show you to do 180, switch 180 like that off a jump, and it's really about the effort you put into it. If you kind of slide off the jump, then you're not going to have a good takeoff, so you got to come in ski staggered, open legs, and jump hard like that, arms up and everything. So
it was a little difficult to exaggerate on a switch 180, but it is something that is probably the primary concern of spinning switch off jumps and the way I see people mess up the most. You need to, as you're coming up to the jump, bend your knees heavy, crouch down with your arms and your shoulders, and then explode off the takeoff. That's going to be the way you are successful in spinning switch off jumps. Spinning switch off jumps is definitely one of those things where you're going to get what you put into it. So if you put the energy and the practice and the technique into it, you're most likely going to be pretty comfortable and have control in the air on your tricks, and you're going to feel comfortable. Now I'm telling you, the number one problem I see with taking off jump switch incorrectly is not popping hard enough. Popping hard is the primary concern of this tutorial.
Ready? And another thing is, a lot of times people have trouble taking off jump switch and skiing switch because they can't see that much because they're kind of like moving their head a little bit. It's a whole body movement. You have to move your entire body, like basically from your knees down. Whatever your boots let you do it all the way. So you're like, you have the ability to like look this far, switch. So you really gotta do all the way, like wind your whole body back so you can see everything. All right, ready?
I do want to touch on carving off jumps a little bit. You don't want to take a huge carve off the jump because that kind of takes away from the fundamentals of the trick. It makes it sometimes easier or harder in some cases. So I do suggest going off the jump with an edge. So you're kind of going to carve a little bit. That way you're in control of the way and you don't catch a funny edge. But I do think you should try and go off as straight as possible to learn how to do it. So if you are going to carve a little bit off the jump, you're doing switch right, you want to be on that left edge on both your skis. And if you're going down the hill, you'd be taking off from left to right. And if you're going switch left, you're going to be going right to left, and you're going to be on that right edge of both your skis. Alright, so one of the last things I'm going to touch on is as you're coming up the lip of the jump, your skis need to be staggered and close together. and then as you come up the lip, you're going to open them up about shoulder width apart, and that's when you're bend right here and then pop. That's going to give you the ability to get maximum pop out of it, because if your skis are too close, then you're not going to be able to pop hard enough. And the reason I made this video and I'm stressing this all so much is because without this, without the ability to do all this stuff I'm talking about, you will have an extremely hard time most likely grabbing in your switch cork 5s and your switch 7s. It's going to give you a lot of trouble, but if you learn how to do switch 180s like this, your grabs are going to come a lot easier with the trick. Alright, so that'll be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please give it an upvote or subscribe. I will be putting out a new video every Friday at noon throughout the season. If you want any updates, go check out my website, skitutorials.com. But I'll see you next Friday with how to do a Switch 360.